Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot and a red state, utilizing Tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be I've been sitting here trying to think, like, how do I want to word this? I want to look into JD Vance's quest to become POTUS. However, I have a feeling that this path is not going to be quite as easy as what he thinks it's going to be. So we've had that recent health whatever, from Trump, and it's like you also have Vance out there saying, "Oh yeah, I'm ready. If something were to happen, I am totally ready." And that was just real interesting, that because I'm like, well, I mean, like, part of that was, how was he supposed to answer it? Which was probably like, well, of course, I'm vice president. That's what I'm supposed to do. But then he went on and talking about Trump's health. So it's like he knows what everybody's talking about and watching. So I want to look into just what that looks like. And I want to bring in a couple of kind of references here that I want to make sure whenever I do a reading, if it's somebody else's work, somebody else's words, I always want to make sure that I preface that this is not my work, it's somebody else's work. So the first one is David from Tarot by the Bay. He did a reading, and it was about JD Vance invoking the 25th Amendment and what that is going to look like with the cabinet. Now, whenever I realized kind of like where he was going with that, I stopped watching, because I try not to watch other people until I've done my reading, and then I go back and watch their readings, which I always find that we go a different direction, and so it doesn't really matter what if I watched it or not. But I always like to just, I don't want to be influenced by other readers. So I do want to look into, that. The other thing that I wanted to, I'm going to read this to you, is I got the most beautiful comment of somebody who's a clairvoyant who dropped this in the comments, and I asked, can I please share this? Because this was like, it was just so succinct, and it was like, it gave me goosebumps whenever I first read it. So I want to read this to you and let you know, like, this is kind of what I'm looking at. Like, I don't want to say, like, if this vision, I'm not questioning the vision at all. I just want to be reading kind of on the energy around this, because this is I've seen this, I've felt this. Whenever I read it, I was like, this needs to be brought into a reading somewhere, and this is where I'm going to bring it, okay? So this is what Mary Stitch said, and it is, she has clear cognizant abilities. I get a vision or see a news report like it's happening in real time. And I find that interesting about how people's intuition works. Like, mine always works with, like movie clips and sitcom quotes. I don't know why. So hers is that she gets visions of like a news report that is happening in real time. When JD Vance was interviewed recently, in which he claimed he was ready to be president, I, meaning Mary, instantly saw a news segment in which a reporter stated there was a vote of no confidence by Congress trying to block JD to replace 45. Or is he 47 now? Oh, it doesn't matter. 8640. Yeah, okay. I've never seen him. Oh, I've never seen him in office. Honestly, I've never really seen him in office either. But months ago, after the election, I saw the entire administration removed, forced to step down, and several indictments against several of them, including JD, charges of election interference, corruption, and treason. I saw a committee of professionals from military brass, moderate politicians, and others temporarily running the federal government and administrative duties. I heard them trying to make a decision on whether or not to have Harris take her rightful place as president or have a new election. The reason I wanted to pull this out was this really summarizes so much of what I've been feeling, what other readers have been getting, what other intuitives have been getting. I mean, it's just like, yeah, that's kind of what we've been seeing and feeling. For me, I have always said, if JD Vance is president, it's like one hot minute. And the only reason that I even allow like that little tiny bit of possibility is because I'm a Virgo. My birthday's coming up in September. And that, like, there's a logical, clear progression. Okay. So with that being said, we were looking at what it takes to invoke the 25th Amendment. Now, if Trump just, dies, then none of this is all a moot point. But, even in Trump's death, he's going to just like not make it easy for anybody because he's just not gonna fucking die, okay? What I'm getting, like just intuitively, and also kind of in other readings that I've done, is that those talks are already going on, okay? The other thing, and this is the part that I did see this part of what David said, was that there is a split in the cabinet. There's the tech bros and those loyal to Trump. And if they 25th Amendment him and then he gets better, the revenge that he will have, and I'm sitting here going, he's not getting better, but they're just so terrified of him that they're afraid that he would get better. And then what would happen? With the 25th Amendment, there is a slim chance that this could go to Congress, and it is like if they 25th Amendment him and then Trump like miraculously gets better, and then they have to he would have to ask Congress to then reverse what happened. I don't know. It's like I don't know if that would happen, or if I'm trying to think here. But I mean, it's like, yeah, this vote of no confidence, it's like, oh yeah, I totally see that. So I don't know if that's part of the 25th Amendment or if that's, so I guess what I want to do, this is a really long intro for me to say that I'm not quite sure what I want to read on. No, I'm joking. I want to do just a base reading into what does it look like for JD Vance to become POTUS. I'm going to start with that base reading, and then we're going to kind of go from there. But I wanted to thank you for sticking in with this whole big long intro, because I wanted to kind of set the stage to go like, this is kind of where I'm going with this, what I want to look into. That whole idea of like what other people are getting, that it's just not going to happen for him. Okay. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. So looking into what is it that, just the base reading into JD Vance becoming POTUS. And is he going to finish out Trump's term? Like, what does that look like? And the deck I'm using today, this is my Spiral Tarot. It's an out-of-print deck. They need to bring this back in print. And this is it's U.S. Games. So any of you that have any connections to U.S. Games, tell them to bring this back into print. Okay. I really like this deck a lot. It's just, it fits in my hands real nicely. It's just, the artwork is gorgeous. But anyway, what base reading into what does it look like for JD Vance in his quest to become POTUS? Okay. As always, for entertainment purposes only, his quest into becoming POTUS. He feels justified. And he cannot wait, okay? And if you saw that press conference where they trotted Trump out, he was just, you could just tell, like he had his eyes closed, and it was like you could tell he was just dreaming about, one day I'm going to be standing there. So the justice of this. And the King of Pentacles. He's thirsty. Okay. The challenge is, how does he make this happen? How does he bring this? How does he manifest this into reality? It isn't just a thought. It isn't just a dream. It isn't just a wish. It isn't just, this is those tangible things. How is he going to manifest this to bring this into his life? And I'm feeling like Peter Thiel promised him this. It's like this feeling of, you told me that Trump wasn't, that, this is what was going to happen. Coming in, the Empress. I keep getting this card. I wonder if this isn't going to be, the Empress could be, the motherland, Mother Russia. It could be our country. It could just be his dreams coming to fruition. That's the energy coming in. Like he's going to do everything he can to birth this wish, this dream of his into becoming POTUS. The Foundation, moving forward, charging forward, and also getting the cabinet on his side. Ten of Cups. These are his hopes, wishes, dreams, the everything that he wants. And that, once again, this is coming up in the past. These are, and I'm also seeing all these cups, And if you look at the cups here with this vase, and it's like all the riches. There's a glare on that. I'm sorry. Anyway, all the riches that are coming out of this. So like everything that he was promised in the past, and he's ready. He wants that. It's not going to happen. It's either not as easy as he thinks. I'm getting the feeling from this like he's left wanting. That's the and yes, I really like that movie, A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. That was it was just such a sweet movie. But like you're left wanting. That's the feeling I'm getting with this. And these three swords here reminds me of the three swords that go into the heart of, in that Rider-Waite deck, the Three of Swords of the betrayal, and he's left wanting. Alrighty then. So let me ask about, is he going to try to invoke the 25th Amendment? Let me just ask that. Will he try to invoke the 25th Amendment? And let me ask, before Trump dies, like, he's just like for the mental health side, because I guess it wouldn't be the 25th Amendment if Trump just dies. He automatically becomes president, and there's really nothing. I don't know that there's anything. I mean, there's impeachment. That's what could happen. So, oops, quickly. That's what came out quickly. Is what flipped out there. So, does he try to use the 25th Amendment to make this happen for himself? And I'm just going to do, well, let me see. Yeah, I'm just going to do 3 cards. Does he try to use the 25th Amendment? Queen of Cups. This is very similar to the Empress card really kind of just embodies like all the queens there. So Queen of Cups, something that his wishes, his heart's desire, and it's just he's tired of waiting. Here's this cup, and it's like he's not, it's just out of reach. And the Judgment card in the which deck is it? In the Robin Hood deck, this is the phoenix that rises up out of the ashes. And, if you know JD there, he's tried to reinvent himself many times, and now he's trying to reinvent himself into being POTUS, and it's just, I just don't see it happening. I mean, and as I said, that Virgo logical side of me is like, kind of going, but that here's the Constitution, here's how it's all laid out. But if he tries to do the 25th Amendment, I just don't know that he's got the support to do that. Is Trump truly, I mean, we all know he really is incapacitated. He has no business being president right now. But is he getting, and he is going to get worse. Like, I guess he will, like, what is his justification to do this? I'm like, is he waiting? Is he getting impatient? Which I think he is. And that's like, they're telling him like, it's too soon. We're not ready yet. I mean, that's kind of like, what is surrounding this 4 of Cups and this 5 of Swords? Like, what is surrounding this? The Devil. I don't think that, and he thinks that he's owed this. That's the feeling, like he's owed this. And the Sun card, it's like it is his time to shine. Okay. With that, where am I at on time here? Okay. So with these 3 cards here that I just put out, the Devil, this is the 6 of Pentacles, and this card, it's a marriage card in the Rider-Waite. This is the one where the oligarchs are sitting on their pile of money and they're giving pennies out to the people. That's the lower energy. The higher energy is you have more than enough to share and to give. But this is like, I'm seeing this as the marriage, like the promises that he was told from the oligarchs. The oligarchs told him, something, and he wants that. It's like he He sold his soul to the devil, and he is ready to collect on that agreement and to be POTUS. And it is his time to shine. And he's getting impatient, and that's going to be his downfall. That's his downfall. Okay. Now see, that's starting to make sense to me of all of how this is all piecing together. Because that was the part I was like, I'm just not understanding that. I'm not getting it. I think he tries to pull the plug quite literally a little bit too quickly. He's a little bit too quick to want to boot Trump out. He's getting impatient, and he's going to be making mistakes and kind of pissing people off. So I'm just going to ask, does he become POTUS? Yes or no? Does he become POTUS? Yes or no? Okay, let me pull this back down here for you to see. 3 cards. Does he become POTUS? It's his wish. It's his desires. Going forward, these are all major arcana. Like, he has every expectation that this is going to happen for him. And the Queen of Cups. In his mind, he absolutely 100% is going to become POTUS. Okay. In the lower energy, and really whenever I pulled this card up, what really stood out to me was this pouring water out onto the ground. That's what, and it's like just this, I'm feeling like you have your wishes, but you're just pouring it out and not even paying attention to what you're doing. Like, this person is looking at what they want, not what they're doing. Okay. Instead of watching what they say, watch what they do. That is what's coming up here. And he's really trying to be that strong arm, that strong man to go forward. And then he's thirsty for that. Will Congress get involved in this? The Sun card, the Hanged Man, they're waiting to see kind of what happens. And then there's going to be messaging that comes out with that, with POTUS. He's trying to hold on to political power. The hesitation of, they're hesitant to like almost crown him king. That's the feeling I'm getting with this because of the fallout that would happen. The fallout, yeah, the devil. Okay, so as far as him, I'm kind of getting the same thing, so I just can't keep asking the same question because I'm going to be getting the same thing. The insight that I got today as far as him becoming POTUS is that he's really thirsty for it. He's going to be making mistakes. He's going to be pushing too hard. He's too, he wants it too bad. And because of that, he's not willing to wait. He's like, but I was promised this. This is what I was told. The other, I know that if Trump doesn't finish out, okay, if JD Vance finishes out more than the 2 years of Trump's term, then he can't run like for what would be a third term. So they kind of, I don't know why he's so eager other than, you know, he sees Trump's health and he's like, I just want to be POTUS right now. And I don't care about like that next, like the third run. Cause he would be, if he takes over now, he's finishing out more of the term, so he would only be allowed to run one more time. And that's fine with him. He doesn't care. But it's like Project 2025, like all of that group, they've got other plans. And he was like, this is what I was told, this is what I was promised, and this is what I want. He is preparing, he's eager, he's a little too eager. And that is going to be what is his downfall. Okay, so with all of this other stuff, you know, with the cabinet, I am going to go back and watch David's reading with that. I'm just seeing, like, I don't know that the cabinet would be, I mean, they're split. They're like, it's not time, which I'm like, of course it's time. He should have never been president to begin with. I mean, Trump should have never been president. Of course you could 25th Amendment him, but they're just not doing it. They see Vance as being, you know, like too eager. and that if it goes, and that Congress really is going to try to stay out of it until they probably can't stay out of it anymore. They just really don't want to have, they're like, we don't want to touch that at all. Because especially if Trump is still like somewhat alive and, you know, cognizant, there's a lot of fear of what would happen with that. So let me see if what is the backlash? I'll ask that one last question. Is there backlash? What is the backlash? Like, is Trump even cognizant enough to be able to have backlash, you know, from him personally? And I'll just do 3 cards here. The World card, no, it's like, are they expecting some miracle here? You know, it's like, oh, the doctors can do something. They can, you know, they can bring him back. He's having a medical procedure, and the 10 of Swords, that doesn't go well. And so, okay. With these cards, I think Vance knows about Trump's health. His health is not getting any better. He is trying to literally pull the plug, probably before, well, no, definitely before the cabinet and MAGA are ready for that. He's getting a little too anxious, and so that's going to be his downfall. That's what I'm feeling with this. So, yeah, I will keep checking in on Vance every once in a while just to see how he's doing. But right now he's impatient and he doesn't like waiting. JD, you know, we're right there with you. We're ready for him to kick the bucket too. But anyway, but not for you to become POTUS, not at all. So yeah, this is going to be one. I feel like I'm leaving it kind of like out there, but it's like, that's what I'm getting is, I think that what everybody's picking up on is, yes, absolutely correct. I think the piece that I'm adding to this today is that he's getting impatient and he's going to make mistakes. And it's that pushing and that being impatient, that's going to be his downfall in this. So that's what I'm getting today. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I may put that other JD Vance reading up there. That reading kind of took off. I was surprised by that. It's a good reading. I really like that reading. It was about how Usha is feeling, and her children, you know, are the number one priority to her, and the toxic environment that she's concerned about, the toxic environment she's having to raise her children in. Okay. And then the second part of that was, you know, JD, and was it probably his aspirations to become POTUS. So I will put that up there. I'll probably put a more recent reading up there for you as well. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.